Well, Australia is losing a massive $5.8 billion in domestic tourism spend each month due to coronavirus lockdowns and the closure of domestic borders. CEO of the Tourism and Transport Forum Australia, Margy Osmond, joins me live now. Margy, as always, appreciate your time today. Look, the situation has become very dire. How does the industry survive now through this crisis?
Well, look, the industry's been on life support for quite some time now, and I worry about just how many more businesses we're going to lose between now and the end of the year. I mean, we're calculating that by the end of September, there'll be well over 600,000 jobs that will have been lost in the tourism sector. And by the middle of next year, we're likely to lose another 150,000.
What is your message at the moment to domestic tourism operators?
Well, I suppose it's hang tough for as long as you can. We're doing our best to get the federal government to focus on the fact that we really do need the return of JobKeeper. It may not be what the federal government wants, but it can't keep asking us what will help and then ignore the answer. I mean, essentially, from the tourism industry's perspective, anybody who's the bulk of their business is international has been in lockdown for the last 16 months and will be in lockdown until the international borders reopen. And if we want to have a tourism industry when people can travel again and want to come to Australia and have a good experience when they get here, we're going to need a tourism industry.
It's hard to keep track now, but is this the third peak holiday period in a row decimated by lockdowns? Where are we up to?
Well, we've had 3 sets of school holidays now that were completely kaput because of some strange relationship between an uptick in the virus and school holidays. And we're now looking pretty grim for the September school holidays too. So that will make 4 school holidays. And we anticipate those holidays alone will cost somewhere in the vicinity of probably $15 to $20 billion. And I think the really critical thing about this, though, it's not just about the states that are in lockdown. It's the whole country. Because if you don't have New South Wales and Victoria travelling, nobody's getting the tourism benefit. Just not happening.
How essential is it now that we have a roadmap to reopen the industry? I mean, a lot of people, especially in New South Wales, the numbers are rising, are receiving a vaccine, 1 or 2 doses. Do we need a federal roadmap?
Look, it would be, I think the federal government has attempted to give everybody a bit more clarity about where we're going and what it might look like. But we do need some dates. But more importantly, you have to understand if you're going to rely upon a domestic tourism industry to survive and they're about to lose their 4th school holidays in a row, it's not looking good. And as a consequence, if you want that industry to be here, there is going to have to be a much higher and very specific recognition of this industry and the support it needs. I mean, look, the other thing, of course, is with vaccinations. We've now pulled together a group of the biggest entertainment and venue players around the country to look really carefully at what a vaccination passport for major events, sporting events, business events, all of those kinds of things would look like based on what we're now seeing overseas in that space.
So right now, the only thing that is really going to help and come into play is JobKeeper.
Unfortunately, I wish there was another answer to the question. But when people ask us what will make the biggest difference, this was the one that will make the biggest difference because it keeps the employees also connected to the companies and to the industry. This industry has lost a massive number of people and they're not coming back. They're getting jobs elsewhere. So for the industry to be able to meet the demand even for domestic tourists when we can get going again, we need those people. And it's as simple as that. And it's not just a question of the small guys either. At this point in time, we're going to lose a lot more of those smaller operators, and we are going to need the strength that is in the framework of those bigger companies. And they're certainly feeling just as much pain at the moment.
I could imagine. Margy Osmond, CEO of Tourism and the Transport Forum Australia, appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Samantha. Take care.